Okay, let's take a domain that we've purchased and let's connect it to Groove and look at how we can add it to each of our apps within Groove, whether that be Groove Pages, Groove Blog, Groove Cart. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our account, my account. Then we're going to click on Domains. And we're going to go to Custom Domains, Manage, and we're going to add a new domain. So we're simply going to go down here, and when we're adding a brand new domain, we haven't had anything on it, we're going to click Full Domain Setup and Next. And then we're going to type the name of the domain in here. So I just purchased a domain called groovemaintenance.com. So I'm going to type that in here, groovemaintenance.com. And next. And what it's going to do is going to tell me the changes I need to make in the registrar. So in this case, I have this one purchased at Namecheap. I also have domains at GoDaddy that we can take a look at as well. But in Namecheap, I'm going to make these changes. So back to Groove, it's telling me log into your account with your domain provider and update your name servers. Okay, so that's the process we're going to do right now. So we're going to go into Namecheap, which is where my domain was purchased, and I'm going to manage this domain, groovemaintenance.com. And within Namecheap, we're going to just scroll halfway through the page here. We see this thing that says name servers. We're going to drop this down and say custom DNS, and the name server is going to be this name right here. So I'm going to copy the first one. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to copy the second one, and I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to, in Namecheap, I click checkmark, and that makes the change in Namecheap so that now Namecheap knows to look at Groove's Cloudflare servers to decide where it should be pointing to the website and all of those good things. So we're gonna let that go for now, and I'm going to show you what it also looks like in GoDaddy. So if you were doing this, for example, in GoDaddy, you would click on the domain within your GoDaddy account. And when you're on domains in GoDaddy, you simply scroll down to where it says Manage DNS. And after you click Manage DNS, you go down to where it says Use Custom Name Servers, and you click Change. And you say enter my own name servers, and this is where you put the same thing. You can see that I've already connected this domain to Groove, but this is where you change it in GoDaddy. So those are two examples, Namecheap and GoDaddy, of where you actually make the change. Now, back in Groove, we did this process. So we click Next, and the final step for the pointing to Groove is when we validate the DNS records. So when you make that change in one of your registrars, Namecheap, GoDaddy, whoever, it takes a little bit of time for that what's called to propagate around the internet, around the world, so that now everybody who's looking knows where to find it. So we're going to click Validate DNS Record. And you can see that I waited long enough. That's how long it took. Just the time I made that change to the time I clicked Validate, that it was fine. It turned green. It said you're done. Sometimes it will say, come back and try it again later. And so sometimes you have to wait 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes even longer. But you can see that it didn't take me long, a couple of minutes here. So now I'm going to complete the process. And the final step in making the connection is to choose the primary app for this domain. So for example, groovemaintenance.com is not going to be a store for me. It's going to be a funnel. It's going to be a landing page, a website. And so the primary place for that would be in Groove Pages. We could make the primary place our Groove Cell branding. We could make it a membership portal so that you could just go to groovemaintenance.com and it would open up a membership. We could go to the blog. We could go to Groove Cart to store any of these. What I'm going to do is choose Groove Pages because I want, when people type in groovemaintenance.com, I want them to see a web page from Groove Pages. So I'm going to click check mark. And now it's set up. I can now build my site and publish to groovemaintenance.com. But let's say we want to have a website and a store. So we're going to have groovemaintenance.com. And let's say I was going to sell, different packages or other products related to Groove Maintenance. So what we would do in that case is we would go to any of these other apps. This case would be GrooveCart if I want to store. I click on it and I say I'm going to use a subdomain called store or shop. Shop, and I'm going to check mark that. So you can see that now within GrooveCart, I'm going to have this domain available, shop.groovemaintenance.com, and that's it. I have it set up. Over in GrooveCart, when I go to domains, I can choose this domain and it's ready and it will publish right to it. So that's how we can add it to GrooveCart. Let's say we wanted to also add a blog. If we wanted to, we could click Groove Blog. We could add a subdomain. We could say blog, check mark. Now we have blog.groovemaintenance.com and it's ready to go. So what you're going to see is when you go back to these other apps, I'm going to just update this. I'm going to go over to GrooveCart and show you what it looks like. So remember, we added groovemaintenance.com. We added a subdomain called shop.groovemaintenance.com. And I have a store here that I don't really use. That's a test store. So I'm going to go into the store. And within the GrooveCart store, we have settings. And within settings, we have domain. And so from this domain, we are able then to go choose domains that we already connected. So for example, this is store2022grooveforyou.com. This was an example I used at some point. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to unlink this domain. And this was an also example. I'm going to unlink this domain. But you can see right up here, available domains. Whoops. Went away. Available domains, all of those that are unlinked, but you can see shop.groovemaintenance.com is available. I'm going to click link, and as soon as I do that, this store is now active at shop.groovemaintenance.com. And we can go have a look here. I have no idea what's here, but I do know that it's a GrooveCart store. There. So this was an example store that I had created and was showing people how to use it. But you can see that it's at shop.groovemaintenance.com. So that's how you connect your domain to Groove. That's how you determine what's going to be the primary place for the domain. And that's how you can also connect it to the store or to the blog or to other things.